Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to This Is a Work. My name is David Hensley. I'm the owner and creative director of Long Walk Productions, and I'm here to introduce your host, the very angry David Two Doggz Hayes.
Well, thanks a shitload, David Hensley. I appreciate that. Oh, I'm sorry. Welcome to This Is a Work.
It's okay, Chris. I'm going to mark this as explicit.
Oh, okay, good. For mature audiences only. Let's start whining about wrestling.
We haven't had an episode yet that I haven't marked explicit.
Right.
You're welcome.
This is your only premier pay-per-view wrestling podcast in Rock Hill, South Carolina. With me, as always, my tag team partner, and tonight my partner in anger.
I don't know. I'm turning a little bit.
Chris, the Fashion Plate Barnes.
Not my name. How you doing?
Now, I'd just like to say...
Been better.
I'd like to say right off the bat for the listeners out there, we just finished watching this pay-per-view. We are recording this episode not in my studio, but in Two Doggz' home.
In Doggz' house.
So you are going to hear some background noise. There are other people here still talking, still discussing the pay-per-view that we just, like I said, finished watching.
Odds are, if you're listening to this, you were here.
Yeah. Hey. Of the two podcasts that I produce, this one is by and far the most listened to. So, Doggz, take it away. How do you feel?
Well, I'm not altogether happy with what I just witnessed. I've had a second to calm down. Before I get into that, I also want to let everybody know this is a very big weekend for us, because not only are you getting this podcast, but very soon you'll be getting the AEW Revolution podcast, which will be premiering tomorrow, but we will be watching and talking about Sunday.
Yes. And now let me cut you off and interject one more time, Doggz. I'm sorry, before we get into the pay-per-view. For listeners, any This Is a Work listeners who also listen to Long Walk Talks, I've discussed on that show frequently how difficult it is to get the three hosts of that show, me and Chris and Stan, in the same room at the same time.
Those jerks.
Because of our insane schedules. So we were supposed to have had 2 episodes this month of February, and that did not happen. So I will be adjusting our release schedule slightly. So, Again, sorry, wanted to throw that out there to any of our dual listeners.
No, that's okay. I mean, you've been busy. You've had a lot going on. You've been directing a show.
Yep, co-directing They Fight.
Mm-hmm. And there's been birthdays, there's been holidays, there's people
transition from steady employment.
There's that, and now I'm sad.
Yeah.
You're sad.
But we're going to get through it. We're going to get through all of this. It's okay.
I think that's mostly the reaction from Super Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the end of that pay-per-view just really set the standard for the podcast tonight.
What do you mean? I'm excited to talk about WWE Super Trash Fire.
Yeah.
Super letdown.
The thing about it, looking at this pay-per-view, it wasn't bad at all.
No.
Let's start things out. We'll start out with the kickoff show. We have the Viking Raiders versus the OC.
Solid match, fun match.
Solid, very yes.
Ivar running his ass around the ring.
Honest, Gallows and Anderson, they're always good. Mm-hmm. They really shone. They really showed out tonight. It was good to see.
Yeah.
Lot of great stuff. Ivar is my man. I truly want to see him.
That man flung himself and his weight around that ring.
I have a dream that Eric goes and tags up with Tucker Knight, and Ivar tags up with Otis.
Oh my God.
And boy, let's create a super team.
Those two wrecking ball shaped men.
Yes. Oh my God. Just that's a lot of meat, dude. Well, this match is really good. The OC ends up going over on this one. solid victory. I gave this kickoff match 3 Meltzers. Great way to start. Moving into the second match, into the main show, it was the. Now I'm gonna mess this up. The To Wake, is that? Am I saying that right?
I honestly don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Okay, I'm gonna call it the Harambe Gauntlet match. And
No, no,
it's got to be close, right?
no. Humberto.
He wasn't in this match.
He was not, and we've been over this.
Yeah, I want to say To Wake is correct. Looking at the spelling of it.
I believe it's To Wake, and it's
A mountain in Saudi Arabia.
yeah, it's a mountain in Saudi Arabia that Michael Cole just kept wanting to talk about. Oh, To Wake is a mountain in Saudi Arabia that represents progression and strength. And
Apparently, looking at this, Twig.
Oh.
Twig.
Well, we've all been, you, me, Michael Cole, everybody.
I'm fine with being wrong as long as Michael Cole is.
Yeah. Byron Saxton, we're all wrong. Okay.
Twig.
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 Okay. Well, the Twig. See,
It makes it worse somehow.
It does. It makes it sound like I'm.
Now it sounds like you're making fun of it.
Twig got with me.
Twig brings us here today.
Hold on. Do we want to hear the internet say it for us?
Yes.
Please.
Absolutely.
Twig.
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 Hold on. One more time.
Twig.
Twig.
Is what brings us here today.
So the Twig Gauntlet match started out with Twoof, and Bobby Lashley.
Please don't get me assassinated.
Yes, and Bobby.
And Twoof.
Apparently, this was a.
Twoof will last you forever and ever.
Once again, I say.
Sorry, I can't get out of it now.
It was a gauntlet match for the special trophy.
Yeah, for a trophy that looks like
Giant yellow. Twig. It's shaped like the mountain. It's giant. It's yellow. It's weird to look at.
It looks like a Jello mold.
It looked like a Jello mold, a giant Jello mold that nobody wants.
That everyone walked by and looked at like, what the hell?
It's like, who left this out here? We could get hurt on this, people.
I feel like there were some looks where it was like, oh, thank God I'm not going home with this.
And it lit up. It had lights in it like a lava lamp. It's the most ridiculous looking. The only thing that they have done worse than this freaking trophy is when they did, I guess it was a couple of years ago when they did the female Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Oh, yeah.
And they had the trophy that looked like fallopian tubes.
The trovery.
Yeah. It's ridiculous looking trophy. It
is.
Monument, award, whatever. Now, that aside, this is a pretty damn good gauntlet match. Told a nice story. We start things out with R-Truth versus Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, you're kind of like, oh, okay, so this is what's going to happen. But Lashley looked pretty good tonight.
Yeah.
He did flub a couple of things, but forgivable stuff. Nothing crazy.
And R-Truth ekes out a victory against him.
Yeah. He actually went.
Yeah.
The finish on that one was Lashley ended up tripping over R-Truth, and he got him in a roll-up for a 1, 2, 3.
And then Lashley lashed out afterward and
lashed out after
He
it.
Bobby lashed.
He did the Bobby lash.
The worst Halloween song ever. He did the Bobby Lash.
Well, thank you for listening to this.
Yeah,
This
I was
show is now
reaching.
You're right. We should
canceled.
go out on a high. Yeah. So Bobby attacked him after that, and then R-Truth had to face his next opponent,
Which was Andrade. Now here you're thinking, as okay, all right, here's the we're gonna be putting over Andrade tonight. That's what's gonna happen. Well, again, Truth looks great. Andrade, what can you say? He's never looked bad a day in his life. They end up headbutting each other.
they kind of crash.
Yeah,
into each other.
cracked heads.
Andrade falls, and then Truth happens.
Falls backwards onto him and accidentally gets a pin. Mm-hmm. So now Truth 2 in.
He's rolling.
And speaking of rolling, we have Eric Rowan come out with his weird ass cage that we still don't know what's in there.
This part of the gauntlet lasts maybe about a minute,
About a minute.
because Rowan goes after him, kind of beats Truth up pretty bad.
Yeah.
He gets and then
They go outside.
and Rowan grabs steel steps and ends up clobbering Truth with them, getting disqualified.
Right. And the reason that he did that is because he sent Truth into the steps. Truth hit the steps and knocked over his cage, which angered him, even though he's the one that did it. Bleh. So then he gets up and said, "You hurt my friend," and beat the devil out of him with some stairs. And so now we have a disqualification, and Truth is again going over. Now, Truth is damn near dead here, and who should come out but the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. They don't want none.
His song is right. I don't want none of it.
So Styles comes in there and he's laughing at the guy. He's
I have to give it to him. He hammed it up so good.
he did. He really did. He's doing some R-Truth
Pulling
dance
his
moves.
faces. Yeah, he's pulling faces hard. He's like, yeah. He's out there. He's like, he's just.
Hey, come on, dance. And
Oh God, he dances. He white boy dances.
oh man, he did the Running Man at one point. He did
Cabbage Patch. He Cabbage Patch.
He did a Cabbage Patch. It was in rare form tonight.
Yeah.
He was having fun.
Yeah, and then he R-Truth isn't able to rally, so he ends up beating him.
Yeah. So
So he's waiting for a next opponent, and the music starts up. It's Rey Mysterio.
but there is no Mysterio. It was Mysteriosis. I don't know where it's a weird night for me.
I have already threatened to cancel once tonight, by God.
Look,
His last name
Hensley, I'm having a weird night. It's
His last name is letters off from Mysterious. And how did... You know what? I don't want to
It
say
was Mysterios. You couldn't have gotten... All right. So who comes out?
Yeah, your pun was just Mysterio gross.
well,
More like Rey Mysterio, no.
see, no, you're making it worse. What do you and you have the audacity to criticize me?
You know what, dogs? Rey Mysterio, go fuck yourself.
Guys, come on. No fighting. You're Mysterio bros.
Wow.
Good night, everybody.
And Chris was never seen again. Or that was the pinnacle of his...
Oh, good. I thought
comedy.
you were threatening to kill me.
No.
But yeah,
Well, Rey Mysterio, go on.
So
mys-
and yeah, the music starts playing, but he doesn't come out, and AJ's
Like,
hamming it up.
what's going on?
He's like, yeah, play the music again. Come on.
And
all the time, I can't describe the face he's making, but he's just like super smiling, and his teeth are like jutting out. He's just, he's just hamming it up so hard.
Well, we go to the Titantron, and Mysterio is laying down on the floor, and the OC.
And some familiar people seem to be kicking him a bunch.
Yeah, and it turns out it's the OC, and they're beating the hound dog out of him.
And so he's like, well, he needs to come out to the ring, otherwise I win. And he's telling the ref, "Is like you have to count him out. If he doesn't reach it, then I win."
Yeah. So finally, the announcer gets on and says, "Okay, Rey Mysterio has to count of 10 to come out," or his opponent, I believe, is the way they said
his
that.
opponent
Has to
Weird.
get out to the count of 10.
That's odd phrasing.
Yeah. And then the Titantron goes back, but this time the OC is on the floor. Gallows is gripping his throat. And then a pair of black boots and a duster walk by them.
It's Neo.
And the lights go out. And for whom should the bell toll? 'Tis none other than the Undertaker. Coming out to so many lasers and not pyro, but fire.
This is when the show started to be death for an epileptic.
It started getting nuts, and the Undertaker usually comes out to more fog than anything else. Mm-hmm. Not a ton of fog.
They don't do fog in Saudi Arabia. They do fireworks,
right?
And flames.
But yeah, so Taker comes out, stares at AJ,
takes his dear sweet time getting to
oh
the
my
ring.
God, it was 5 minutes, easy.
AJ mouths off.
He never even actually took his coat
Or hat
off.
It stayed firmly in place.
Yeah. AJ goes to make the cheap shot, gets caught, choke slam, 1, 2, 3.
Didn't even get a tombstone.
Bam.
Yeah.
Now
Taker gets that ugly trophy. Ugly trophy.
that he walked by, scowled at.
He just made the angriest face at it and then left.
He looked at it like it was Goldberg back in November at Crown Jewel. It was just...
He looked at it and said, "Trophy, more like no-fee."
See, now, and you have the audacity to look
So what
at
happened
me.
next?
You
Doggz.
come into his house.
I mean, it's... No, you come into my home. I don't know why that makes it worse, but in front of
It's supposed to be more
my
comforting.
children.
They are not here.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, they're just always with you here.
That's
in
right.
Your heart.
Right there, Barnes.
I feel like now's a good time to point out this is an audio medium.
That's why he patted his chest so you heard it.
That was my wiener.
See a doctor. What happened next?
So, yeah, I liked. I love this gauntlet match.
It was fun. It was interesting.
Yeah, I gave this whole thing a 4 Meltzer.
Yeah. Truth got a decent time in it.
It was the false hope was you thought Truth. He's gonna pull this out.
Yeah, he might pull it out.
Now, it's worth noting that it was around this time that we were watching this, and I was thinking, wow, the internet has led me astray. The reaction that I've seen online has been so negative, and I'm actually enjoying this.
We're getting there.
Yeah. So we move on. We have the New Day. Oh my God, I can't. Okay. Oh yeah. We have New Day versus the revamped Eminem, John Morrison, and The Miz. This is for the Raw Tag Team titles. Wait a minute, is it Raw?
Yes. Because, no, it's SmackDown.
SmackDown, I'm
SmackDown.
sorry.
Raw is later.
Yeah, the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I absolutely love the fact that John Morrison is back. I'm a huge fan. I was a huge fan his first go-around.
Sure.
I was a huge fan of him when he did Tough Enough back in the day. And you guys, if you want to see a baby John Morrison, go watch, I believe it's actually on the network now, Tough Enough 3. Mm-hmm. And you can see a baby John Morrison there, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
So they come out. They have having a pretty decent match.
No, it's fun. Oh, it's super fun.
Kofi is being just regular old Kofi, and good. I mean, it was a great tag work, in and out from both parties. Morrison looked great. Miz was in rare form.
Oh yeah.
At one to start things off, who was it? Was it Big E that licked the belt?
Yes, when they were showing off the belts, Big E was like, "This is my belt. You don't want it," and he licks it in front of the.
And Miz had the worst look on his face.
He had this look of, what is happening?
So this match was fantastic. I don't really have. There's not a lot you can say bad about it. I think I saw one flub spot, and that was about it. I gave the match a 3.
No, it had a great flow and good psychology. It was a fun match to watch.
Mm-hmm. And we have ourselves new SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
That's right. Miz and Morrison are the new champs.
Hell yes. And good on them, too, man. I did. New Day's had their time. It's we can move on.
Now, the most important mystery is, of course, who got the belt that Big E licked?
Well, it had to have been Miz, right?
I would assume.
Yeah. Moving on to just a standard grudge match. We have Humberto Carrillo.
You did it.
I am so proud of you right now.
You may now go back to calling him Harambe if you want.
No, the magic.
We just proved that you. I just wanted to prove that you could do it. Now you're.
I don't want to. No.
Oh, now that you have permission.
Now that I don't.
Well, now you know.
Yeah, I'm also fine with it if you want to go back to calling him Harambe.
No, I really don't. want to.
Now we know this is just a good textbook example of how Doggz' mind works.
Yeah.
It's no fun if it's okay.
Yeah, I don't like doing it when I don't have permission.
I believe my exact words at the top of this were, "Who let that 13-year-old into the ring?"
Yeah, I hate Humberto. I hate him.
Humberto, not Alberto.
Did I say Alberto? I hate Albert. I do. Every time I look at his face, I've never wanted to hit someone.
He has super deep dimples, and he has a face that is not well suited to trying to look intense or angry.
No. He's also, like, he has no redeeming qualities to somebody of my caliber.
I have no idea how to qualify that.
I don't really know either. I just kind of, it rolled out of my mouth and it formed a sentence.
I feel like that's a quote that I should read on like WWE Daily News or something like that.
Yeah.
While you're feuding with him.
Right. No,
That sounds like something Chris Jericho would say.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I'll take that.
I know. I thought you would.
Yeah. Something
You've taken
Jericho
worse.
would say, or maybe Shawn Michaels. I can actually see Shawn Michaels saying that now that I'm talking about it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's, like a shoot interview. And I remember we were talking about the Undertaker, and there's somebody coming in here with.
So all this does, and we'll get back to the match in a second, but all this does is remind me, talking about people who you could also hear saying that exact sentence you said, yeah, it also brings to mind Shane McMahon. And I'd like to point out, I really enjoyed the Shane McMahon cosplay you wore to rehearsal one night.
How dare you?
Chris, you should have been there.
I feel like I should have. What happened?
We were running the wrestling match from As You Like It, which for those listeners out there who don't know, there's wrestling in Shakespeare. And Doggz walks up onto the mat, and I look up and realize, holy shit, he's dressed like Shane McMahon.
I happen to have some running pants on because, well, it's stage combat. You gotta be able to move freely, and I got sneakers on, and you need those sneakers with stage combat. This particular evening, I happened to be wearing a baseball jersey.
So there's a comedy bit in this scene where I go up and I start massaging Doggz' shoulders. He's in character as Charles the Wrestler, and the wrestling match is about to happen. And I leaned in and whispered in his ear, "Why are you dressed like Shane McMahon?"
And I lost it.
Yeah.
You should have just said, "Here comes the money."
But anyway, how did the match between Humberto and Anal Garcia go?
No, no. Before we get into that,
Anal Garcia.
No.
Thanks,
okay.
Michael Cole.
Yeah. His actual name is Angel Garcia, and he's
Not Garcia.
Is it not Garcia? What is it?
Garza.
Garza. I'm
Garza.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I can't believe that I just
Angel.
corrected you two.
Sorry.
What's happening?
Angel.
I'm sorry. I was more caught up on the fact that Michael Cole at
Slipped.
one point
He slipped up.
called him Anal Garza.
Yeah, he did.
Angel Garza.
And he's going to have to live with that the rest of his life. But it doesn't matter. It's a 1 for him and all the mistakes that he's made.
This was my first time seeing him wrestle, and he's fantastic. I think he's really good.
Angel is... He needs to be in a tag team.
Yeah.
And he needs to have some gold around his waist. I would say put the IC belt on him.
Yeah.
Something like that. He's or just take him back down to NXT and let's do a North American title run.
He's got such a great smarmy Eddie vibe to him.
Yeah. Oh, it's so great.
And it's funny, we were talking about Humberto's baby, little baby face. It's like you can tell the reason Angel has grown a goatee is because if you shaved it, he would look like a 10-year-old.
Oh, without question.
But
Well, he already looks like he should be on the cover of a romance novel.
yeah, he actually does.
But he's the villain.
Danielle Steele should be written in large letters over his chest.
There was nothing wrong with this match.
No.
In fact, it was a really good match. The problem is they were not able to hold the crowd.
This is not what the Saudis came to see.
No.
And the crowd just kind of got quieted down, and they were... I've noticed that the Saudi crowd really just comes alive for big spots.
Yeah.
So they were working a match, and they were doing it well, but the crowd just really disconnected from it.
They just want to see fireworks.
Right until about the end when they ramped up and finished up.
This was also probably the fastest I have seen two wrestlers move in a match in all the time I've been watching with you. These guys were fast forwarding through this match, it felt like.
Oh, tearing it up. Like both of them. I'm talking a little bit of shit right now, but Humberto can go.
Yeah.
I don't
Supremely
like
talented.
the guy, and I honestly wish I had a more substantial reason for saying I don't like him.
Yeah.
I don't. There's really nothing to dislike about the guy. He's a good-looking young kid that can work his ass off. The only thing, he's just too damn pretty for me to stare at. I want to hurt him.
Well, while we were watching it, you compared him to Jared Leto's character, Angel Face from Fight Club.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. And yeah, I stand by that. I want to destroy something beautiful. It's take care, baby. Yeah, I ooh, God, just thinking about him makes me want to.
Just want to punch him so
I
bad.
do. I do. I want to hurt him so much. But regardless, these guys had a good match. Lost the crowd somewhere.
But that's not their fault. That's really not.
No, by no fault of their own. It just. Well, see, I mean, you say that, but it's should know. I mean, they should know their crowd. You should be able to read it. It's the business that you're in, but sometimes it just happens.
Maybe so, but that crowd was more geared toward bigger names.
You're right.
And as fast as that match was moving, it should have been half as long.
I
can agree with that
too.
The show overall was way too padded out
God.
until certain points. We'll get there.
Right. I gave this match Angel Garza. See, now you almost had me doing
Angel
it.
Garza.
Angel Garza
Now-
goes
Garza.
over.
Now that I know it, I won't forget it.
he goes over. I gave the match 2.5 Meltzers. I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
So next we have the Raw tag team
Oh,
match.
yes.
with Seth Rollins and Murphy. Because we can't call him Buddy Murphy anymore because they took away his first name.
I didn't think anyone, like, that's weird that a company has the power to do that.
Yeah. I'll just ask Mustafa Ali.
Who?
Yeah. Yeah. You would just know him as Ali.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or Sheamus. Or Elias. Yeah. I could probably keep going.
Just people just don't have the attention span for a full name anymore.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Except for Brock Lesnar.
That's a good observation, Kirk.
What?
Just move on.
Yeah.
Oh, did I kill the joke? I'm sorry.
Anyway, keep going, Doc.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, now I get it.
Yeah. You've never been funnier, and it's just a shame.
Well, thank you for listening to This Is Work.
Doggz, he's the editor.
That was going to be my material for tomorrow. We're just going to lead into it. All right. So, Rollins and DeMuff versus the Street Profits.
This was actually I mentioned it when we were watching. This is the first time I've actually seen the Street Profits wrestle.
What
Yeah,
did you think
same.
about them?
I liked them. They're really good. Especially what are their names? I've asked the wrong person.
Prophet 1 and Prophet 2.
The taller, skinnier one.
Harambe?
No.
I know the larger one was named Dawkins.
That's right.
Angelo Dawkins.
By the sheer number of times that it was said during
I heard.
the match.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, but the other guy.
Not Dawkins.
I don't want to.
Angelo Dawkins and Harambe.
No.
Harambe
No, I already
Garcia.
I know this is wrong.
It's Harambe.
Just call him the other one.
Buddy Mustafa.
No, that is
Samson.
insulting.
Roman Corbin.
Montez Ford.
Oh.
Yeah.
His athleticism. I mean, they were both really good. Montez Ford, in particular, he was just phenomenal.
That man, well, both of them actually have an amazing vertical leap that is just impressive.
Montez did a splash that was amazing.
7 feet in the air, standing. It was just, it's really amazing to watch these guys.
He launched himself.
Yeah. Dawkins, again, no slouch.
Not at all.
Throws this drop kick that's just a standings drop kick. Mm-hmm. He's right there, meets the guy's face. I mean, and I know we're talking, Rollins is not a tall man by any means, but he's not short. And for him to get up at that height is just, it's incredible. I can't say anything about anybody badly in this match. The whole thing was
They did so well together.
But again, crowd
went to sleep till the end.
Yeah, you kind of lost them there. I think
Which was the grocery match?
I believe
it was this one.
Was it this one, or was it Angel?
It was this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was this one because I remember now. At some point in the middle of this match, you see.
If you just kind of look to your left while you're watching the screen, a couple of the Saudis and it's the royal family.
Well, the VIPs in front, yeah. The people wearing traditional clothes, they have food delivered.
Yeah, and
or brought with them, not entirely sure.
It was just a brown bag.
Unclear, just a large brown grocery bag that you used to see
Several.
during the...
Yeah, they're handing them out.
Somebody just off of camera was handing one man a brown paper bag, and he would hand it to somebody else, and then another one would get handed.
And the thing about it, we're not talking about like, here, this is a sandwich bag. No, this is a grocery bag.
Picnic-sized amount of food, if that was what it was.
These are the same types of
maybe it could have been
grocery
merch
bag.
or something, but it's just like I thought it was food.
Yeah. This was the same type of grocery bag that you would get back in the 80s,
Yeah.
when you were allowed to choose between paper or plastic.
Well, and this coincided with the point in the match where I was like, all right, they're getting gassed. Everyone in this ring is tired. They have
Yeah.
all slowed down.
Yeah.
And the crowd reflected
Again,
that.
And I think I think it's just something kind of cultural with the Saudis, because there was right behind in the main camera where the action was going, there was a huge section of people who were Street Profit fans.
Oh, yeah.
They were
yeah.
wearing the shirts. They had huge signs. It's like, so, but they even quieted down too.
They did.
So I don't know if it was just, I don't know. They're just waiting for it to end or what.
Well, at this point, we're kind of halfway.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it was a marathon for them too.
Yeah, it's we're
There was one old. Sorry.
Well, we had the benefit of fast forwarding as
That
well.
is true. Mm-hmm. There was one older gentleman in traditional clothing in like the second row who was just staring at the ring, determined not to have fun.
I never go anywhere. I never do anything. I never have any
I
fun.
have to be here, and I'm reflecting that all the time.
Like his kids were here and they were having a good time. He couldn't leave, so he was just kind of stuck because. I don't know. I was going to make a wife reference, but I don't know if they do that or not. I don't know what goes on over there. It's
And then there's that random white kid in the audience.
yeah.
There was just one white kid just sitting in the audience.
And he was clearly lost.
He was having a good time though.
Yeah. So we have Rollins and Murph going over here.
They retain, yes.
Yeah, they retain their titles. Again, I gave this one a. I
Murph out of 10?
Funny. I had originally given this a 2.5 Meltzer. I'm backing this down a little bit to 2.
Okay. All right.
Nothing bad with the match. I just I was getting bored.
No,
the crowd
middle,
was getting bored.
The middle was solid, but yeah, there was just kind of a lull.
Yeah.
Because they were waiting for the big names to happen.
Sadly, it didn't get any better as we move forward because we have Dolph Ziggler versus.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna try it.
All right.
Mansoor.
I think that's right.
Hey. All right.
Because I know the wrong way to say it is Mansoor.
And Mansoor.
Which is what I wanted to say.
You got there right in the middle, which is actually the correct way to pronounce it.
All right. So
Don't make
Mansoor
that
comes
mistake
in
again.
and he.
And Bulbasaur got in.
And it's like they've been having this match with him like almost on every Saudi show, where he comes out, and they had Dolph out there, the blonde, typical American bad guy, for him to beat.
Yeah.
And if anyone's gonna make you look good in the ring, it's gonna be Ziggler.
Right.
And the match was pretty good.
It was good, but it was slow.
It was. Again, this is a match where the Saudis are supposed to be rallying behind the hometown boy. Like they put it over as he's the hometown guy.
Yeah. And the last few times that we've seen him, that crowd has been hot for that guy.
And on top of that, this is one of the few times where Vince doesn't humiliate someone in their hometown.
That's right, because he's terrified.
He knows better.
But this time, we heard some boos.
Mixed reaction.
Saw some thumbs down.
Saw some people in the and they were not towards Dolph either. It was towards Mansoor. They were very pointedly giving a thumbs down.
They were not dig him.
They were getting tired of him.
Yeah.
They were. Yeah. There was an undercurrent of boo. Yeah. There's like unhappiness with him because he won the match. Mm-hmm. And
he cuts a promo,
as he's done almost every other time. He gives the inspirational hometown boys doing good.
Yeah,
we can do this too. And they're like, eh.
Yeah, Mansoor is turning into the Saudi version of Roman Reigns.
Kinda, yeah.
I think that's where we're
The
at.
goodwill has worn out.
Yeah.
Kind of like when The Rock first debuted.
Yeah,
way back when he was when he was like the super
when he
duper
was
baby.
Rocky Maivia. It was post Rocky Maivia, pre Flex Cabana.
Post Flex Cabana,
post Flex Cabana.
He came
Sorry
in as
about
Flex
that,
Cabana, and he was super duper baby face, and he was just super happy to be there and inspirational, and the crowd was like, "We're not buying this shit, boo."
Flex Cabana.
And that began the transition to Rocky Maivia. And
he
The
had
Rock.
dreads.
He did.
Silly ass Rock. So yeah, I couldn't do a lot for this match. I was
and
bored silly.
Ziggler was trying so hard
You give him all the credit in the world, man. He was trying, but
to draw people in to boo him,
Yeah,
and
they
rally
won't-
for Mansoor.
they weren't biting, man. They
No,
were
they were
not
not.
biting that hook, and neither was any of us at home.
And the crowd was displeased with that promo too, almost to the point where I said, "It's like,
Yeah.
are they mad he's giving it in English too?" Because he was.
It seemed to be, but yeah, I gave this whole thing a 1.5 Meltzers.
Yeah, I think they were just like they just were no longer buying into it.
Now, now you think, okay, well, we're at 1.5 and we've been dropping steadily on this. We can't get worse. Oh, but we can.
This is WWE, maybe remind me.
That's right. We go to the cage match. This is a cage match, Chris Barnes.
I'm just gonna say this because we talked about it during the match. It's like the entire point of a cage match is a rivalry, a feud has heated up to a point where normal matches just cannot contain it. You cannot expect them to abide by regular rules
Right.
because they are just so ready to tear into each other.
Right.
So what do? You constrain them to a
Yeah.
cage.
Or if you keep getting run-ins that interrupt the match. So what do? You confine those two. You keep other people out of the cage.
Exactly. The point is, you keep these guys, you have these guys slug it out in the ring, uninterrupted, and unburdened by rules. It's supposed to get brutal.
And thank God that's what we had with this particular feud.
This feud between, this feud between King Corbin and Roman Reigns.
Yeah. This feud that's been going on for like 8 months now.
Dog food, you know.
Right at the top of this, I went out and had a cigarette because I am so over Corbin versus Reigns.
God.
And this absurd, perverse love for dog food.
And I had committed at the top of this because I completely forgot last time you asked me to do the best and worst actors bit. It's well known to listeners of the podcast. I normally play games. Watching the pay-per-view, recording this podcast.
And that's fair.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch this, and I'm going to pick a best and worst actor. I didn't give a shit about Corbin and Reigns.
This is a testament. When it's well known. Hensley, not so much of a wrestling fan. When he is well versed enough to know that he hates a feud, hates it. Like to the point.
That's
or
not
the other feuds, he doesn't care. This one, he hates the fact that it exists. He's not even watching, but he's still upset that this feud is happening.
Because he understands from an entertainment angle and a production angle how stupid it is.
And from a storytelling point of view.
This is ridiculous. This whole damn thing is they tried to cook this to make it organic and fun, and they ruined it. So what did they do? They said, "Oh, we're going to need a little extra gimmick on this. How about dog food?" Well, let's just 4 months of fucking dog food.
4 months? Has it really?
Oh, this feud's been going on for 6 months.
Oh boy. I'm gonna go get a beer while you talk about this.
Yeah,
That's
no,
how-
go right
Alright,
ahead.
yeah.
Hey, would you grab me one there?
Yeah, sure. What do you want?
Give me one of those. What is it? The Miller Lights.
Yeah. All right.
Whatever they got over there. None of that shit you're drinking.
It's your fridge.
Yeah, but he's getting up.
You don't know what's in there?
I haven't been home in a long time.
All right.
I've been rehearsing for They Fight, which is coming up at mid-March. So get your tickets.
Guides of March?
Yeah.
Neat.
No, this garbage feud is just, this is crap. I have never actually watched a cage match that I did not care about.
No one even bled.
This is the one time, thank you, sir. This is the one time where me and Jim Cornette are actually going to agree 100%. if you have a cage match and somebody in that cage is not bleeding, you're doing it wrong, period. And not only did we not have anybody bleeding in the cage, but nobody used the cage.
Not really. I mean, there was the door spot.
Which which you called a million miles away.
Yeah. It's obvious. It's obvious whenever the door is first open, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's fine because I usually enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a fun spot.
Yeah.
And for the listeners, it was hilarious to me because somebody watching with us was like, wow, they can really hold the door open. The refs can hold the door open for someone. And Chris said, oh, they're only doing that so that the other person can use the door to hit somebody in the head.
Yeah.
30 seconds later, Corbin tries to escape. Roman reaches out, grabs the cage door, and uses it to hit Corbin in the head.
Which, we saw that just 3 days ago in AEW with the cage match with Cody Rhodes and Wardlow. Use the cage right there. Arn Anderson's holding the door open, and Wardlow sticks his head through. Bam! And he gets caught.
Yep.
But again, one difference between that match, first of all, somebody bled. Secondly, that was a captivating, well thought out, story generated cage match that had a point.
Yeah, and to your point about no one using the cage, like they didn't throw each other's heads into it. They didn't, bounce anybody off. They didn't suplex.
Barely.
They didn't suplex each other into like a cage side.
Yeah,
that's like one of the simplest things you can do.
They played Escape from the Cage, which I've always hated that.
Yeah,
I've always hated the Escape from the Cage idea.
That only works if one guy, specifically like the heel, is chicken shit and he's just trying to run away from the whole situation.
And
that makes sense.
It makes sense.
It makes sense character wise. But these two who are fighting each other and they should be just slugging it out.
It's a match of who can climb better. It's what the fuck.
Also, for some reason, Roman Reigns was the one who tied the chain and locked the door.
Why? Yeah, I don't know brought why. It with him.
Pocketed the key, and that instigated the door spot when Corbin knocked down Roman Reigns, pickpocketed him for the key. That usually the ref has the key.
Yeah, and why we decided to change it up now? Why? It's none of this made sense. No. This was not a good story. This feud hasn't been good. None of it.
This cage was nonsensical.
Can we be done with this?
Probably not.
It's been 6 months.
It looks like they're going to finish this up at I guess WrestleMania. I don't know.
Oh, God, can you imagine this going another 38 days?
They're pushing it. They've pushed it this far. I guess they're going to.
Oh, God, because that means they're going to meet again in the Elimination Chamber.
Probably.
And then they're going to meet again at WrestleMania. Jesus Christ.
I don't even want to know what stipulation they're going to ruin with that.
Oh, they won't even have one. It's just going to be a regular old match to settle the score.
I mean, they fucked up a Falls Count Anywhere. They fucked up a cage match.
Yeah,
maybe they'll fuck up a 2 out of 3.
Yeah, but garbage match, 0 Meltzers.
May God have mercy on their souls.
Damn it!
I get angry
to it.
Yeah,
I can feel the rhythm of it.
So, what was it next that we had on the card?
Aunt Bailey.
What depths have we? Oh yeah, is it?
I can't read my own handwriting. It was yeah.
It was Bailey versus Naomi for the women's SmackDown title.
Yes, it was. Roman Reigns goes over. Who cares?
But you know what? To your manager Bailey.
No, wait. We forgot a match. We forgot a very important match. We forgot the WWE World Title match.
Oh shit! I was wondering when that happened. I couldn't remember. And there's a very good reason I can't remember.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
Nothing freaking happened?
The only memorable part of that match was Paul Heyman. Brock.
Oh God! Until you said Paul Heyman, I completely forgot that this match happened.
Yeah. Brock Lesnar
Versus Ricochet.
I'll just say Brock Lesnar. Let's see. He did some other stuff, but mainly what he did was gave Ricochet 3 German suplexes and F5, pinned him, and left.
Yeah.
How much? How long do we have to put up with Brock Lesnar?
We're going to have to...
Till he dies, I guess.
Yeah, we have to find... Until Brock Lesnar says, I don't want any more of your money.
I'll be honest.
All right,
I'll be honest.
good point.
I don't
Or
I don't want Brock Lesnar to die, but I just want something within him.
I don't want him to be alive
No.
anymore.
I just want something within him to fail. Not so much that he's debilitated permanently. Just fails so that he can't wrestle anymore.
Right.
Just it's like he can't do it. Otherwise,
Like the diverticulitis coming back or something.
Otherwise,
like that.
his I don't know. His bladder explodes, and I don't know.
That would cause death, I would think.
Right. That's why he can't get in the ring. So it's like they warn him
because he's dead.
Right. He can't get in the ring.
So-
Otherwise, the bladder just.
So
and
so
that's
you
the
want
noise
him
it
to
makes.
die.
I don't want him to die.
It sounded like you
I
said
want
you
them to
wanted him
catch
to-
it in time so that they tell him that he cannot go in the ring anymore, or else this thing will happen, and then he'll die. With Edge.
Because his bladder exploded.
No, it doesn't have to be the bladder. Okay, kidney.
Okay, his kidney explodes.
Yeah, but he has a spare. But then it would be too much burden to wrestle.
Okay.
So Lesnar goes over.
Right, he won.
Lesnar goes over and nobody cares because
His kidneys remain intact for now.
because they've been burying Ricochet for the past couple of months anyway, and people actually forgot who he is. I gave this.
You can't get over if they don't let you do the things that get you over.
Right. I gave this half a Meltzer, and I'll tell you why I gave this. It'll be clear why I gave this half a Meltzer, and well, we'll just move on, and it'll be explained.
Okay.
So now we're going to move on to the women's world title match.
Yes.
That would be Naomi challenging Aunt Bailey. May I see your manager? I get to your joke there. So they come out in their pajamas.
They look better than the first ones, though, than the last time.
It was a better match than the last
and
one.
that one as well. I think they finally were able to convince them to let them loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, no one just stood politely and let the other person do their spot.
Naomi had an awesome entrance, despite,
It really was.
she wore a light up coat.
Had all the lasers that Taker had, and everybody else for that matter. Bailey just had. I don't get Bailey anymore.
I dig it. It's fine.
It's just
Okay, but
I'm
she had-
sad all the time.
but she had one of
that's
the-
the gimmick.
Well, she's supposed to be angry and sarcastic, too, because remember she was outside in the ring fighting Naomi, and the ref started counting, and she turns back and goes, 2!
Yeah.
At the same time he does.
It was fun. That was fun.
She just needs to develop that more.
Yeah, if we could get her in that frame of mind 90% of the time, then I'm good with this gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was, other than that, it was a good match. Yeah.
Decent match.
Decent match. Very fun. It's a sharp upswing from what we've been watching.
Yeah. Very sharp. In fact, so sharp, it went from a half a Meltzer to a 3.
Yeah.
And Aunt Bailey retains her title and her oversized T-shirt. So I don't know if the Saudis will let her keep that or not. But
What, the T-shirt?
Probably not.
No.
Well, it had her name on it, so probably.
I don't know. They seem like the right amount of dick to just be like, we're gonna
Give
need
us
that.
back the T-shirt.
We're gonna need that back.
No, that does not belong to you. Give that back.
We have to burn
Where did you steal that title from?
it. We have to burn that too.
Moving on.
We're cutting off your hands.
You need to stop.
Your new title is slave.
Warning. No. No.
I'm sorry. I couldn't.
I feel like you could have.
Moving on
to the main event of the
Jesus.
evening. Chris, this is what we've been waiting for.
This is what we watched. This is what we skipped through like 8 minutes of video package for.
This is what this entire crowd has been waiting for. The Saudi Prince has been waiting for this, Chris Barnes.
Goldberg versus The Fiend.
The Universal title is on the line. Now you're thinking to yourself, well, Goldberg's not even on the roster. He hasn't even signed a contract with WWE, David Hensley.
And The Fiend has been tearing through everybody. He's Jason-like.
Yeah. How could this possibly happen? Well, you know what? It's okay. This is a house show because that's all that Saudi shows are. They're just really very expensive house shows, just elaborately done. Right? We couldn't possibly do anything crazy, could we? Like
what, dogs?
Like,
I mean, but just throw out your wildest, weirdest thing they could possibly do to mess this
oh
up.
God! I mean, just right off the top of my, how crazy could you possibly get with a guy that's not even on the roster that doesn't know how to wrestle? I mean, you want to put a title on him?
Okay, well, we'll start there. So we put the title on this guy.
Yeah.
And then, but how will we do it?
Well, he doesn't know how to wrestle. So if we just have, you know what? How about? And I'm sorry, this is just right off the top of my head.
Okay.
I haven't slept on it or anything, but how about 3 spears and a jackhammer?
Maybe we throw in a spot where the Fiend, gets the mandible claw on briefly.
How about we do it twice?
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Ooh. Wow. That's.
Do we have? Well, I mean,
Good thing I don't.
that sounds like a really short match, though.
It does, like sub 3 minutes almost.
Well, we've got 8 matches.
So I'm sorry. What you're saying is 2 spears, a mandible claw, another spear,
3 spears.
another mandible claw,
A very terrible.
And then a jackhammer?
A very terrible one, too.
1 more spear. 3 spears.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, with a
if there's time.
mandible claw between the second and third one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Good thing this is all hypothetical, because that doesn't sit right with me,
Yeah, like I said, I'm just spitballing.
That match makes it sound like the entrances would take longer than the actual match itself.
Yeah.
Or the video package leading up to the match.
But that's okay. We could run the video package several times during the night. We can.
Guess.
Yeah.
Man, that just sounds like...
That actually would get people to order the pay-per-view.
Sure.
That
but
are watching the pay-per-view.
it just seems like one of those UFC fights where it's all hyped up and then it's 45 seconds.
See, that's not the attitude we like around here at Titan Industries.
Oh, no. This is my performance review, isn't it?
Surprise.
Get out. So
It's okay, I'm
we're
screaming
running.
into
So we're gonna make Goldberg the new champion. Let's run what we got. All right, book it.
No shit, that happened, didn't it?
Yeah, that was not a fever dream that we had.
I feel like it was too short to be a proper one.
Actually, that little improv session took longer than the match did.
Yes, it did.
Oh God. Yeah.
I am disappointed.
Yeah. I am Jack's
I
disappointment.
expected nothing, and they still managed to pull the rug out from under me.
Now, the thing about it is I spoke about this when I heard about the match was going down. And I talked to a couple of fans, and they was like, well, I was like, that's going to be a snoozer because Fiend's going to walk away from that. And I was like, really? Do you think that that's going to happen? I was like, of course. They're not going to put the belt back on Goldberg. The Fiend is the best thing they have going. And I was like, see, that's your problem right there. You're using logic. WWE doesn't have logic anymore. They've thrown it out the window.
I think what this actually was them realizing they shouldn't have put the belt on the Fiend in the first place, and this is how they got it off him
by burying him in 3 minutes.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. It's disappointing.
It's
just disappointing. And you know what's worse? I didn't watch all the video package leading up to it, but I saw the parts where the Fiend appeared, and Goldberg was calling him out.
Yeah,
and Goldberg was kind of laughing at him the whole time. Wasn't
buried him in the build-up.
Right.
Excuse me. Was anyone watching the Fiend's eyes in the lead into this match where they're just standing in the center of the ring staring at each other? Because it didn't seem like a character moment to me. It seemed like Bray Wyatt standing there going, what is happening? Because you watch, he's staring at Goldberg. You see his eyes dart to the right, dart to the left, like as if he's wondering to himself, what is happening?
As if we're really doing this?
Yeah. I saw that.
I can believe that, and it's fortunate that he had the mask so that he could hide himself. I don't know if he could be able to hide his actual expressions if he wasn't.
I did see that, Hensley. I know exactly what you're talking about. I was trying to pass that off, but you may be right. I was trying to
normally he's just looking. He's in character and looking at the other guy.
Yeah, that did not look in character to me.
No, it didn't, and it looked. It almost looked like he's a real heel. He's a regular human heel. Like he's about to back off a little bit, which is generally what a heel does. Is they play the chicken shit and they'll back off a little bit. The Fiend's never really done that. That's where I was playing, but I feel like you may have something to it there. You might have something. He might have been.
I think he might have let it slip because he knew no one could really see his face.
Yeah, and
I understand that him not being into it.
And why would you be? I mean, you have spent you spent most of the year before last building this. You debuted it last year. And you ran with it, and it was hot. You spent another 6 months just building and building and building, and you really had something. You got put into 2 matches. 2. Your next match was a world title. That's it. Number 1, that's way too fast.
It is. I still don't know if he should have ever had the title.
No, he shouldn't have.
No.
Now, I'm not saying...
No, I mean, not at first.
I mean, not saying that, he didn't deserve it. He obviously deserved it. But
sure.
No, that not for this character. We've talked about this so much. That's a character that almost doesn't need a title.
I would agree with that, honestly.
Honestly, because now that you've given him the title and you jobbed him out, and make no mistake,
that's what it was.
He did the job. You were treated like a fucking jabroni.
That also disgraces the work that they put into it previously with other opponents.
Yeah, it's honestly like you set up a brilliant set of dominoes that have your name in it, and it's just, and you set it up on the street, and it's 15 feet of dominoes, and you have different designs and everything that when they get knocked over, they're going to form this thing. And instead of saying, okay, watch how this goes when I tip this first one over, you set the whole thing on fire and just leave. That's basically what happened. You took the time to develop this brilliant character.
I was spoiled on it by checking Twitter one day.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, as soon as the match ended, I was spoiled on it via a mutual friend of me and Doggz on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so Goldberg's going to beat him. I did not know how bad they were going to fuck him over.
Well, the thing about it is,
but then I got the bad feeling came when I was checking the remainder of the show, like the play bar, and I saw just how little time was left.
yeah.
Yeah, once again, I say thank God we had the benefit of being able to fast forward through large swaths of this.
Well, here's the thing, and I was talking to a mutual friend of the show, Robert Bradford, the other night. And we were texting back and forth because I had heard the spoiler too. That was the only spoiler that I had heard about this.
Same here, actually.
Well, we were talking, and he's like, yeah, I was interested to hear your thoughts. I was like, yeah, I heard about this. And I told him, I was like, my biggest problem here, Vince does not push anything that he did not create himself.
It's true.
He put, The Undertaker, that's his creation, pushed it to the moon. Stone Cold Steve Austin, that's his creation, pushed it to the moon. The Rock, I can keep going. Everything that's his. Dusty Rhodes, back in the day, you guys, you probably don't know this, Hensley. Dusty Rhodes came over. Dusty Rhodes is not a Vince McMahon creation. He tried to bury it. He tried to bury Dusty Rhodes. The problem is Dusty Rhodes is too damn good to be buried.
Mm-hmm. He's too charismatic.
Yeah. He and other things that have come from other feds, that the other gimmicks that have come over, he will bury them.
To the point, well, just to point out with Dusty, he put him in a black outfit with yellow polka dots.
Yeah.
As an attempt to make him look foolish.
Yeah.
Still, Dusty still got it over.
Yeah. Gave him the worst manager that you could ask for, somebody that knew nothing about wrestling at all. He still got it over. He tried everything in the world, but that's the way he treats other people's creations when he gets a hold of it.
Even if it's something within the company that gets over, if he doesn't consider that it can be a success unless he has had his hands on it.
Right.
And here's what happens when he gets his hands on it.
Yeah. Well, my question is, Goldberg was a WCW creation. Why did he stop burying things that weren't... As much as I hate the fact that he does that, why did you change your mind for him? Goldberg, I'm not telling you, I'm not talking out of school. I'm not saying an untruth here. Goldberg can't fucking wrestle. He couldn't wrestle when he was in his prime. He could not wrestle at the height of his powers when he was unstoppable and undefeated. He couldn't wrestle. He could not wrestle. That's not a news bulletin. That's a fact. Goldberg will tell you, listen to his shoot interviews. 90% of his shoot interviews is not him talking about the business. It's him apologizing for not being able to wrestle. And it's oh God.
Oh, you've summoned Katie.
Oh. But
they gave Goldberg enough to get over as the monster he was.
They did. And yeah, there's nothing I can
By the way, Katie was very pleased with
it.
Literally the only one in the room who was.
She was vibrating with happiness.
Which, it just brings you to case in point. I mean, there are fans.
I heard the verbal quotes on that.
My name is Mark.
No, I mean, look, I get it. There are people that dig Goldberg. I understand.
Do you?
No. But look, back in the day, he made money. He was nostalgic, and and he didn't do a whole lot, so he can still do the same thing that he didn't do before. So, which was put people over. I'm confused. Why? It's why did you pick Goldberg? There's been a lot of things.
Did Vince or did the Saudis? Which is weird.
I don't know. It's either way. Like Vince has done a lot of bad shit last year, and he's doing a lot of bad shit this year.
Correct.
So I don't know that I can blame this on the Saudis this time.
That's fair.
Slave.
Stop.
I just had to say it one more time.
I know you did not.
You're right. Well, so yeah, that's Goldberg is your new Universal Champion.
He's got a big blue belt.
And The Fiend has disappeared into the darkness.
Yeah, literally, he got up like he was going to attack Goldberg. Goldberg was hesitating, like, is he behind me?
Yeah.
Then the lights went out and The Fiend disappeared.
Yeah. Which honestly, I would have too. Goddamn, I had to put this guy over.
He teleported to a country with bars.
But good Lord, that's as far as I'm concerned. That's a -1 Meltzer for me. No storyline. There was no storyline. There was no psychology. There was no match. It was nothing. It was an exhibition at best, except you buried the one thing that you had going for you to a old man that doesn't know how to wrestle.
That's not true. Roman won.
You know what? I would put the belt on. Yeah, I'll say it. Yeah, I would rather that happen.
Sure.
I would rather that happen because at least we have somebody on the current roster. Is she behind me? Is she behind me about to hit me or something?
She's at the fridge.
Oh, okay.
You're safe.
I don't just
no, Doggz. I was scratching my head. Sorry,
You looked like you were looking over here with a snicker. I was like, she is behind me and she's about to hit me.
Celebratory Guinness because Goldberg is the shit.
A shit.
I was just watching her smugly prance around the kitchen.
But that's where we're at, guys. So yeah, I'm going -1 Meltzer on that one.
Your math is wrong.
Overall, regardless of those last 3 or matches,
You mean like half the show?
yeah, you're right. I tried to give it more than it actually is.
There was a solid undercard.
Yeah, the undercard was solid. So yeah, I guess I would have to give this whole show 2 Meltzers.
Okay. I feel like that's more than fair.
Yeah, I kind of do too. I want to go lower, but okay. I'm gonna leave it at 2.
Okay.
So that brings us to our questions of the night. Chris Barnes. What do you have for best dressed?
Naomi.
Naomi.
I'm gonna give it to Naomi.
There you go. Right on. Even with the oversized shirt, huh?
Yes. Oh God, that entrance.
See, now I got a different one.
Okay.
Lana.
Okay, Lana came out with Bobby Lashley. She was in a gold like hijab.
Yeah.
And she came out, posed with him at the top of the ramp, and then left.
And promptly cashed her check.
Earning her paycheck like no one else could.
And I have never enjoyed her more.
She hit the invisible barrier and just turned right back around.
Worst dressed.
Oh, hang on. I watched a lot of wrestling. It's going to take a second. If you've got yours, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I've got mine. It's the same one that it's been for the past 3 pay-per-views. It's Harambe.
That's fine. I said you could go back to doing that.
Well, I did too, but only because I thought it would discourage him.
No, it's
He's back into it.
No, Carrillo, he always dresses like a Power Ranger, and it always annoys me.
I don't know. It shows some spirit. You know what? Out of everybody there, Brock.
Yeah.
Brock and his dumb black shorts.
Yeah, not Goldberg and his dumb black shorts.
They had white trim on it.
Yeah. All right.
And his
It could have passed for underwear.
and his tribal tattoo on his butt.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, Hensley, let's move on to you. Let's best acting.
All right. Best performance of the night,
Yeah.
in my opinion, came from R-Truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good pull. Good
during
pull.
the beginning of that gauntlet match, he sold the hell out of that.
Right on. Yeah, I'll go along.
Best selling I saw at the whole pay-per-view.
Absolutely. Couldn't have been better. Worst.
Bailey.
Yeah.
Aunt Bailey, may I speak to your manager, Bailey, during that horrible promo that she cut?
Oh yeah.
I'm not just... I've already made history. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not here to make history. I was like, Jesus God.
There is one, and I mean one person on the female roster that can cut a promo, and that is Alexa Bliss.
I knew it. But you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I was like, if you can tell me somebody that can cut a better promo than Alexa Bliss, please show her to me because I'm dying to see it.
Also, in terms of good acting, props to Kofi and Big E for their promo before going to the ring.
Oh,
Especially when Big E mentions the Undertaker and rolls his eyes back.
yeah. So good.
Big E just brings Big E energy to
He does.
to everything he does. It's amazing.
What was it you called him earlier? National treasure?
He is. He is a national treasure.
I agree. I could not agree.
You could not agree?
More.
I could not agree at all. It's wait a minute. No, I think that's going to wrap things up for us.
I believe so. Let's close the book on this and never speak of it again.
Yeah. Oh, God, I only wish that were possible. But you know what? Here's the light at the end of the tunnel.
That's a train.
And that train is named AEW. And it is coming to us tomorrow night. And we're going to watch it Sunday night.
Yeah, so for the listeners out there, we will be releasing this episode on Saturday the 29th and recording the AEW Revolution episode on Sunday, March 1st. I cannot guarantee you when that episode is going to get released, but hopefully within a week of the episode that you're listening to now.
Right on. So a twofer. We're going to get
definitely 2 in 1 week.
Yeah. So it's going to be this is a work extravaganza. So
A work extravaganza.
I wish I could say the same about Long Walk Talks.
well, you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
We have.
Plus, it's harder to fit extravaganza into a pun for that.
Yeah.
Long Walk Extravaganza. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talks to no.
Long
Talk extravaganza.
Walk no.
This is hard. Let's stop.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Chris Sleepy.
Yeah. So, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until after AEW to do my top 5 list.
That's fair.
And just because I haven't had a chance to record anything, I've still got it just on a piece of paper. Well, before we get going, push the stop button. Tell us about They Fight.
All right. Well, They Fight 2.0 is a upcoming production from Free Reign Theater Company. It opens on March the 19th and runs through the 22nd at the Duke Energy Theater at Spirit Square. You can buy your tickets online at carolinatix.org. That's carolinatix.org. It is the best blade brandishing and brawling in literature.
Yeah.
So you'll see the best sword fights from the works of Shakespeare, along with scenes from Robin Hood and The Three Musketeers, Man in the Iron Mask, and Cyrano de Bergerac.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We've been working really hard on it, so I hope everybody... It's only going to be for 1 week.
Yes, so a Thursday through Sunday. So we're going to have a Thursday night 7:30 performance. Friday and Saturday nights performances will be at 8 p.m. and Sunday's matinee will be at 3 p.m.
That's right. And usually we will go 2 weeks on these things. We're doing it. This is an exclusive one, only 1 week, because this thing is going to sell out, and it's going to sell out quick. Mm-hmm. So you better get your tickets, and you better get them now.
Yep.
I think that's going to do it. Hensley, anything else?
Yep. So coming up at the end of March, you can see a short film that I directed and wrote and produced and starred in and edited most of.
Sounds a little lazy.
Yeah, I know. I kind of phoned it in on that one, didn't I?
Yeah.
It's going to be March the 25th. The film is 3 Reflections on Bad Art. It's going to be showing at Dina's Place in the DeGiorgio Campus Center at Winthrop University as part of the Underexposed Film Festival. And this film actually kicks off the film festival. So if you want to get tickets to that and come see it, you can search the Underexposed Film Festival in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and come out and see that at Dina's Place at Winthrop University. Otherwise, you can subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, and all the other places, Google Play. Basically, if there's a podcast streaming service out there, you can subscribe to it. Long Walk Talks and This Is a Work. Please make sure to leave us a rating on a review. Rating and a review.
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah, rating and a review. Please, if you enjoy the show, leave us a review. It really helps our visibility and gets us out there for more people to see. And finally, you can see a lot more of our work, including the wrestling news updates that we haven't had time to do in a while, on my YouTube channel, which you can find by searching either Long Walk Productions or, all one word, David B. Hensley.
Right on. What about you, Barnes? How can we get a hold of you?
You can't. Good night.
Come on. You got to have a... You're not on the gram?
I am, but I don't really pay attention to that.
You're not on TikTok?
I'm not on TikTok like someone is.
Yeah, I'm on TikTok. I'm handling all that. I'm hip and cool. I'm rolling down the street.
And you're 6'4"?
Smoking Indo, sipping on gin and sometimes some juice. Yeah, laid back.
With your mind on your money?
And my money on my mind. Yeah. Bought me some Seagram's gin.
So how can they find you on TikTok and the gram?
Did you say TikTok?
I didn't think I
It
did.
doesn't matter.
TikTok?
Well, yeah, you can check out my bullshit on TikTok, which is, I'm still figuring it out. But that's Two Dogs. This is a work. You can also check me out on Instagram at Two Dogs. This is a work. You can find me on Facebook at David Two Dogs Hayes. And if you're feeling froggy, every once in a while, I'll go to Twitter to get yelled at by celebrities. You can hit me up at David Hayes 357.
And I feel like it's important for our listeners out there to know if they want to search for you, it's the number 2 and then DOGGZ.
That is correct. And I should put that out there. 2 DOGGZ.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I just have a Twitter if people want to pester me on that.
Yeah.
And what's your handle?
Chris the OK.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
OK.
disappointing every time he says that.
I'm not changing it back, you assholes.
That seems a little harsh.
Really? Because I had it as Chris the All Right. And
Did you say alt-right?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard alt-right.
It's almost like I didn't want that conversation to happen ever again.
It gets funnier every time, though.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us, Doggz. What do you have to say?
Well, I have to say one thing. If you just got out of bed today and you had a job to go to and you got somebody that cares about you when you get home, folks, this match is over and you just won via pinfall. Thank you very much for listening to This Is a Work.
Goldberg.